Okay, welcome to the Mindset and Macro Masterclass. Let us begin. Okay, perfect. So present. Okay, guys. So we are pairing the mindset of loving yourself unconditionally now with, did I share screen? No, I didn't. Third time's a charm. Share screen. Woohoo! Now we are in it. Okay. All right, we're all good. Everybody good? Can you see? Yes, 10 minutes later. Okay. So here we're pairing the mindset of loving yourself unconditionally now with the power of counting macros for weight loss. Hey, Brad, and muscle growth for to help you create sustainable, healthy, and confident life that you love. So here's a little bit of my story in case you guys don't know me very well. I grew up an athlete and movement has always been a part of me, and I really identified as an athlete. It was just a part of my identity, and I really had to make this shift after having ended collegiate sports and just organized sports, from this athlete mentality to like working out for life for me. And working out and eating right isn't something I have to try hard to do. I just do it. But developing self love is a completely different story, which we will get into as well, which was like the next step. So, before I get into the self love journey of mine, my expertise, I am a certified personal trainer going on 4 years. I'm a macro coach. I've coached D3, Division 3 lacrosse, which I am no longer a coach for college, but I am a high school coach. And obviously now we're kind of like at a standstill with everything because of COVID. But I love just still being able to contribute to growing the game of lacrosse and helping the young girls like gain confidence and all that. It's just so much fun. And I end up practicing with them, just playing basically. So it's always a good time. And I was a personal trainer in person and taught group fitness classes for 2 years. And I really noticed a lot of the people I coached or, trained in person were either like older women or athletes who had graduated and kind of like lost their sense of just being active and like their drive to stay healthy. So I really took that as an opportunity to go deeper into a transformation with people that I work with, because I know how much developing that like routine and like mindset of self-love and just having that athlete mentality for life really helped me just stay in shape, and not even in shape, but just like feeling good about myself. So 1 hour a week in the gym was not giving that deep transformation I thought I could once I started in personal training. So I decided to make a deeper impact and go online and get way more personal with my clients than just a one-on-one once a week basis. And this is where my self-love journey kind of ties in. So I broke up with a significant other after college, and I was super anxious, left me super like lost, because I felt like I almost betrayed myself for not speaking up about what I needed, what I wanted. And I really lost my confidence. What that once came so easily to me when I played sports. And it was just a really, really sad time. I'm sure you guys can attest to, a time like this in your life where you just didn't feel like yourself. And, it sucked. And I'm happy it happened almost, because it kind of brought me to where I am today. Right. So I really felt stuck, and I started reading about meditation, mindfulness, because I just knew something had to change. And I knew that I was the only person that was going to change my life, myself. And that was something that was just a realization for me. Because, when you're younger, you're in college and stuff, you're just going with the flow. You're just like always doing something. And even as an athlete, you always are on the go. You always have practice. You always have something to do. And so once I didn't have anything to do, and once I was, just not feeling as good about myself. It was just kind of like everything hits you at once. So maybe you've gone through something similar to that. And this is sort of where the mindfulness and the macros meet. Is like I said, I didn't have an issue with working out or eating healthy because of my athletic background, but I decided to direct this anxiety to better myself physically. I started counting macros to aid in this muscle growth and awareness of how food affected my body. So I just found it really fun and sort of like a meditation to just experiment with my physical body. And it was great. Like I was feeling good. And then the unthinkable happened. Bum, bum, bum. What happened? I got injured. Look at this sad little crying dog fox. I don't even know what it is, but it was so sad. So I fell down the stairs while I was working, and I completely hurt my shoulder, and I could not work out the way that I was used to working out. I had to look, I had to look at my physical. Okay, I had to look at my physical body differently. And it was tough because I was so used to working out a certain way and looking a certain way. And, obviously with weight training, the more consistent you are, obviously, you develop muscles and bodies in a body that you like, which is great. But it really pushed me to like think about movement in a different way, because I could no longer work out in this way that I always had. And again, I love movement in general. So I had to change my outlook on what fitness was. And so I started yoga and meditation, and I just changed my awareness, changed my life forever. And our bodies are always giving us feedback. So I took this as a sign to slow down, because when you're hurt, you can't be like, okay, like get better so I can do what I want to do. Like, no, right? And this is really where my self-love journey began, because I could no longer kind of release my pent-up anxiety on working out, and I really had to start working in. And I just no longer had an outlet of lifting weights, and so I had to learn to be. So I wanted to ask you guys a question. You can type it in the chat. What is your body telling you today, or has been telling you? So let me stop share so I can check out the chat if anybody wants to type in. Thanks, Melissa. It's Monday. It's Monday. Don't worry. Stretch more. Yep. I need to stretch more and eat less sugar. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. Stretching with, once I started yoga, was like, I didn't realize how tight I felt I actually was, because, just lifting weights, like, okay, if you think of like those big buff guys, like they can't even like move their neck. They can't move, right? They're just like all muscle. Yeah, it's so funny. I need to move more and add more whole foods into my diet. Yeah, stretch more, mix it up. I do the same workouts and eat similar things every day. Yeah, for sure. And this awareness of like even just sitting and being like, all right, am I feeling like crickety and like, I kind of had a little headache today. And I'm like, all right, I just need to drink more water. Like our body's always giving us feedback. So thank you for sharing. Let's learn to be more comfortable being uncomfortable on long workouts. Oof. Yep. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I love that. Eating healthier and keeping hydrated. Yep. Okay. Let's get back to it. Hopefully I can. I have faith in myself now. I'm more confident. Okay, here we go. Perfect. All right. So this is where I learned to be. Thank you for sharing too, guys. Oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay. So let's get to it. In this masterclass, you're going to learn the theory behind macros, what they are, why counting macros will help you lose weight and gain muscle, sort of whatever your goals are to recomposition of your body and diets do not work. The power behind developing a mindset of loving yourself into change instead of being too judgmental of yourself or talking down on yourself. And if you stay till the end, I have a special offer for you to truly feel better and more confident in your body during these uncertain times with a little extra support and accountability. And I truly, truly believe that no matter what is happening on the outside world, we have more control over our mindsets than we think. And if we kind of flip this as an opportunity to rebuild our relationship that you have with yourself, because it's the longest relationship that you'll ever have is with yourself and food. So let's dive in. Oops, okay. So these are the macros: protein, carbohydrates, and fats. And 1 gram of protein is 4 calories, 1 gram of carb is 4 calories, and 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. So macros are calories. Calories are macros. It's just getting more specific with the type of calorie, if that makes sense. And so the first one that we'll talk about is protein. It's made up of thousands of smaller units called amino acids. They do most of the work in the body for the structure, function, regulation of tissues and organs, promotes increased strength, muscle, and fat loss. Research indicates it can also have a greater positive effect on things like gut health and immunity. And when you think of protein, think of eggs, legumes like chickpeas, beans, and like animal proteins like meat. My favorite protein these days is coming from non-animal products like beans, chickpeas, lentils, like just so good. Like just tastes so good. Carbs. Maybe you heard in the past, like, maybe you're scared of eating too many carbs, or like carbs make you fat, all this stuff, which we need carbs to live. They are the sugar, starches, and fiber found in fruits, grains, vegetables, and other products. They provide us fuel for the central nervous system and energy for our muscles. They influence mood, energy, and memory. So when you think of, feeling like sometimes you just feel like blah, right? It's like maybe you probably didn't eat enough, but of course you don't want to, like each calorie is not created equally. So a donut versus like a bowl of oatmeal, they're both carbs, right? But they're just very different. So when you think of whole grain, you can think of rice, quinoa, whole wheat, fruits, vegetables, because carbs are literally in like everything. Like fruits, bananas have a decent amount of carbs. So we need carbs to live, but each calorie in a carb is not created equally, if that makes sense. And lastly are fats. So they're made up of hundreds or thousands of smaller units called amino acids. Research indicates. I think this is messed up. This was for protein, but fats, this is the wrong slide, but fats, they help really regulate your hormones, and you need them to make sure everything's sort of running smoothly in your body. And common fats are avocados, olive oils, like coconut oil, nuts, seeds, and fish have tons of fat too. I don't know how that got mixed up, but that's okay. So I keep having to move this thing. So what is macro tracking? It's a more exact way of counting calories, because traditional calorie counting only focuses on weight loss, gain, or maintenance. And when I always think of calorie counting, I think of like Jenny Craig, or like those old school counting like groups that these women would all go be a part of, and they only cared about points and like calories and stuff. But in order to actually change your body composition, and when I mean body composition, I mean just like the ratio of your muscle to fat, and just kind of like your curves, things like that. We want enough protein to lose fat and build muscle, enough carbs to have sufficient energy, and enough fat to keep our hormones balanced. So basically when you macro track, you have the perfect amount of each macro depending on your specific needs, which is also based on your height, your weight, and your activity level and your age. That's when you kind of have this like perfect ratio of what you should be eating. So for example, a 1600 calorie a day goal, using a macro counting, you know exactly how many proteins, carbs, and fats you need to make up those 1600 calories. And remember in the beginning, I said 4 calories per 1 gram of protein and carb, and then 9 for a gram of fat. That kind of rules into this calorie count. So by eating a right amount of each, we ensure that your daily intake helps you lose fat, but actually achieve your desired body composition, all while feeling energized and empowered. So you're not just like throwing spaghetti at the wall and like trying things out and keep dieting and all this. So macro counting is another way to become more aware of what you eat. I was going to say something else. And if anyone has questions, you can just unmute yourself and just speak up, because I'm not really looking at the chat at this moment. So yeah, so let's move on. Okay, so this is the magic of macro counting, because you know exactly what types of food, how much you need to gain weight or to lose weight and or gain muscle, because really depending on your goals, you can do anything with counting macros, which is awesome. You have the flexibility in the foods that you eat. You don't have to give up wine nights or cookies, whatever you love. You don't have to give that up, which is common in like this diet culture of like restriction. Like you can't eat this, you can't eat that. Like the magic and the beauty of macros is that if it fits within your daily caloric intake, then you can eat it, which is awesome. And that's almost a step. This is a step toward eating more intuitively as well, because you don't want to count forever, but you just want to have a good idea of like what you need to be successful in a way of like loving yourself and actually having a body composition that you love. And like I said, you become more aware of what you're eating, and that you have confidence moving forward in the right direction, that you're not just winging it and wasting your time and sanity and hating the process of dieting or trying to lose weight or trying to gain weight, because your time is very, very precious too, and your sanity is as well. Obviously, no one likes to go hungry for too long. So I really like this quote, and I wanted to share it with you guys before we move on to the self-love portion. So, action may not always bring happiness, but there is no happiness without action. So to me, this really meant, you can choose to stay where you are, but nothing is going to change. So maybe this action that you take isn't going to like work right away, is not going to be, one day of counting your macros. You're not going to just lose weight and like be perfect, right? But without that first step of action, nothing is ever going to change. So let's move into the second point of this masterclass, is the power of developing a mindset of self-love. And developing the mindset of loving yourself now, despite your past fails or dieting or trying to lose weight, means that you are accepting everything that you've tried in the past, and you don't necessarily put a meaning towards it. Like it's not a failure when you fell off the wagon and you're trying really hard to stay consistent. Like, what can we learn from these mistakes? So self-love is truly, and they're not mistakes, but self-love is truly a practice. And this is something I've been really thinking about. Obviously, a topic in our society right now is whiteness. And what are you basing your self-worth off of? The standard of beauty in the US is based in whiteness, and it is harmful. So you don't have to be guilty or hard on yourself, because self-love is basically a restructure of how we view ourselves and the world around us. So I know we all compare ourselves to other people we see. Sometimes we are really worried about what other people think of us, but that is based in our society. So all I'm asking you to do, I know this, is maybe like a new concept for some of us, is like take a step back and really ask yourself, am I deciding every single day that I am worthy because I'm deciding what worthiness and beauty is for me? Or am I comparing myself to an outside like ideal that doesn't exist? Or based off what old white men say is beautiful. So in the chat, if you want to, or just you can write it down, take a minute. What does beauty, health, BEAUT, beauty, health, worthiness mean to you? I know Brad's in here, so what does handsomeness mean? Maybe no, what's all beauty is for everybody. And for me, I love when I it sounds so funny, but like I was looking for my bigger hoops today and I couldn't find them. But I love when I'm embracing like my Latina roots. I love when I'm just in like a t-shirt and jeans, when I'm just feeling very comfortable. I used to hate myself without makeup. Now I love myself, my bare skin. Like it's just so natural. And I love that natural look on everybody. And so what beauty and worthiness means to me is that I can just embody whatever the universe has bestowed on me and just work it and know that I am enough just because I am who I am. So I'd love to hear some of your guys's. If we said anything, iPhone. Oh, okay, never mind. I know this is like probably a lot to type too because it's a deep question. Being confident in who you are, what you believe in, what you look like. Yep, what you have to say, everything. Yes, yes, Shan, I love that. Showing up like this is who I am, take it or leave it. I feel the same way, and a great example is my hair. I used to hate it being curly, and then a few years ago I decided to embrace it because that's what I was born with. Yep, I just got the chills. Now I can't imagine myself without big goofy curls. Love it, absolutely love it. As we compare ourselves to each other, in reality, why don't we just look at ourselves as like a blank canvas? Like you can't compare you to anybody else because there's literally nobody else like you. Okay. I don't know if anyone else is typing. But I can continue on here. But really good insights. Oh, perfect. Being a Black woman, it's hard seeing the standard of beauty being white women. Yep. So it's always been hard having big hips and thighs and not knowing what to do with them. Yeah, totally. Totally. And yeah, I feel like now especially we are opening our eyes to Black women in the media, Black people on TV, on television. And I just think it's so, so good because we're now seeing that we're actually all the same. Like we all want to be loved. We all just want to have family. We all want to be free, right? In the sense of like having our own agency to decide and do whatever we want to do. And I think that's just so good for our society to be like, oh, like everyone is beautiful in their own way because I'm seeing all these different options now, which is just such a beautiful thing. Thank you for sharing that. Yep. Yep. So good. Beauty for all. Yep. I feel beautiful when I can confidently express myself, even when that means disregarding male gender stereotypes. Yes. I've been chatting with, I have a one good friend from Canada. His name's Jabber. He's an Indian man, and he's always so vulnerable online. And I'm just like, this is amazing. Like, thank you for being vulnerable, because I think it just opens up the door for other people to feel comfortable too, being vulnerable. Thanks for sharing that, Brad. Yep. Beauty for all. I love it. And that's great. Like, we all get to define what is beautiful for us because we're all so different. We all have different lifestyles and backgrounds, but at the end of the day, we all just want to feel really good and confident in ourselves. And for me, one of the reasons why I love coaching is because I know that people have bigger dreams and goals than just like looking good in the mirror. Like, what does all of this do for you? It helps you show up more powerfully at work. It helps you speak up at work. It helps you even like in uncomfortable situations, like with race, when white people are saying crazy things. It's like, no, this is not right. Like, I'm speaking up because I've been doing the work, and I also am confident in my voice. You know what I'm saying? So just so many amazing things. So thank you for sharing, everybody. Okay, here we go. Let's open this up again. Round 3. Can she do it? Share. Woohoo! All right, perfect. All right, look at me go. All right. So this is a story of one of my clients, past clients, Meg. So she was an ex-athlete. I kind of want to say former athlete now, not ex-athlete, who expected a lot out of herself. When she wasn't perfect in eating or didn't get a workout in, she'd always judge herself, restrict herself the next day because she ate poorly the day before. After working on her mindset around her worthiness with or without eating perfectly or working out, she actually started taking more action and enjoyed her life more. So this was a huge milestone for her. And kind of like I said before, there's no such thing as mistakes. And maybe, because you're on this masterclass now just to, learn more. Like, there's a whole bunch of reasons, right? But I want you to really understand that there's maybe like you weren't ready to change, especially if you're super hard on yourself. Like, maybe the universe needed you to learn something else before moving into this next phase of true self-love and loving yourself, despite not being as fit as you used to be or being not as skinny as you used to be. So it's what I want you guys, one thing I want you to take out of this masterclass is, whenever you hear these thoughts of like, oh, like I didn't work out, like just being like really hard on yourself for whatever reason, realize that you can separate yourself from those thoughts, because that is not you, right? That's just you being super, super hard on yourself. That is not necessary, right? Because you cannot love yourself into change. You have to you cannot hate yourself into change. You have to love yourself into change. So I want to do a little exercise right now. So I want you guys to close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and just really connect with your breath and focus solely on your breath right now. So I want you to think of what being fit or losing weight, gaining muscle, really whatever your goal is, what will that do for you? Just think about it in your mind. How will you show up differently? Be more loving, more compassionate. Imagine yourself moving through the world, feeling lighter, happier, vibrant, more energized, and empowered? I just wanted you to sit with that for a few moments. Okay, so I want you to come back. If you just felt that, you can live in this energy now. Nothing is stopping you from living in this feeling because it's an illusion of the ego that when we're more fit or when I'll lose weight or when whatever, right? When this, then I'll be happy. No, you decide to be happy now and then change will come, not the other way around. Someday is a disease of our society. You got to start and correct course on the way. And, I know COVID has taught us many things, but one thing in particular is that you cannot wait to start anything, like whether you have a dream of like opening up your own boutique or whatever whatever it is, like this is our one life. And what's really important in this one life is what I'm really starting to understand and like embody. Especially I'm at my brother's right now. He just has a 3-month old, um like family, like just being in the present moment with people you love, um doing what lights you up, what you're excited about. That's what living an energized life is. And you feeling bad about yourself, being too hard on yourself, wanting to feel healthier and just feel better in your body, stretching more, right? Like you're the only one that can change that. And there's no point in waiting because Monday is never going to be any different, actually. It's just a someday is just a not a thing. Living a healthy, sustainable life you love starts with I love myself now mindset. And adding in, this is kind of where these two, the macros and mindset, combine. Adding in the power of the science-based nutrition of macro counting can help you actually change your body composition. So you look in the mirror and like the way you look, but knowing that this love you have for yourself and for your life goes so much deeper, because that's what's going to keep you consistent and making it just embedding this natural like stretching or like routine, whatever you want to do, you having a deeper why of your family of wanting to just live healthier so you have a more abundant life. That mindset is what's going to keep you consistent. So, mindset and macros. These are 2 of 3 main pillars I take my clients through to bring them from feeling down on themselves, comparing themselves to how fit they used to be, or not liking the way they look in the mirror, to loving themselves into change. And in my one-on-one coaching program, I also provide a custom workout plan, accountability through daily access to me as your coach. So you start embedding healthy habits into your life, which aid to your self-love, confidence, and body composition. So, what am I doing? So right now I'm going to start talking about my one-on-one coaching program. So if kind of got what you wanted out of this macro class, you can feel free to jump off. But please stay on if you are just curious to see how I can help you become more confident and give you accountability to what really lights you up in this life. So here we go. So are you a former athlete? That's just who I usually work with because I, have this athlete mentality for life sort of outlook. Are you a former athlete that feels less inspired by the day to show up for yourself? And you have a strong pull toward this energy of discipline that you had as an athlete. And maybe you don't consider yourself an athlete, but you've tried on your own to work out, eat healthy, but you keep falling off track and feel unmotivated? Are you in a funk? And also, there's a pandemic going on. So let's not forget that, because I know every single person I've talked to feels like they have totally gone through a lifestyle change, which we all have. And I just hate when people, like, I see people out here even feeling worse, right? Because you're like, I have so much more time. I should be doing all this stuff. But it's like, there's no right way to act during a pandemic. So we're good. But do you wish that you had some more structure? And do you miss the accountability from a coach telling you what to do, when to do it? And what if you had the exact steps to help you back into that discipline and high energy excitement for life, just like you had back in your sport for the next 3 months? Or, just even back when you were feeling really good and healthy, like, how do we get back there? By adapting our life now and doing and meeting ourselves where we are. Because it's not going to be helpful if we jump back into the workouts we did 10 years ago, 5 years ago, right? Because you're just going to feel horrible because first of all, you're super sore and you're just going to be comparing yourself to like, wow, I used to be able to do that. Like, I know I do that all the time too. Because even I have not been the best at, working out during quarantine and all that stuff. But I have found that I have a whole new outlook on life in general, right? So I think that's a pretty good trade-off. And I was telling this to Brad the other day, like, we all go through seasons. Like, sometimes you're like on it, you're like super, like, you're doing everything you need to do. And then other times you're just like not as motivated. And sometimes you can't always be planting seeds. Like, you can't always be blossoming. Like, at some points you have to be planting seeds. And this sort of goes back to that, like, there was no mistakes. Like, maybe you needed to learn more before you got into this next phase of life of like taking your health seriously and onto the next level of commitment to yourself and your self-love. So if any of those sound like you sound like my client Emma. And yes, I had a client named Emma, not me. So she missed being a full-time athlete. She could not get herself to eat in the way that fueled her body. She didn't start eating in the way that she didn't start eating in a way that fueled her body before working with me. She always beat herself up for when she didn't work out. She was a lot harder on herself. And she wanted to push herself in the gym and on her runs, but she always just said next time. She had no accountability before working with me. She allowed herself to get lazy and then would beat herself up for it, which we're all our worst critics, right? And after completing my program, she is implementing more mindfulness and is starting to enjoy the process of living a healthy life as a long-term journey. So I want to introduce to you Empower Training, Mindset, and one-on-one private coaching. So this is my private coaching program to give you extra support and resources to become more confident and aware of your nutrition through macro coaching, working out regularly, and creating a routine to de-stress during this time of uncertainty. So here's a client case study. This is Chris. She changed her physical body in 5 months. And this is, I'm going to be honest, a very extreme circumstance because she was like so committed, like just so committed, which is great, right? But there's some, obviously people, everyone's different. So like you're going to react differently and all that. But she committed to her goals of toning up and losing weight and wanted to feel overall healthier. And helping her develop a mindset of self-love now helped her lose weight and actually enjoy the process, because I believe you do not have to be miserable when you're trying to get healthier. And I think there's this misconception in especially the fitness industry, diet industry, that like you have to hate your life until you are a certain weight or whatever, right? And obviously this whole masterclass is debunking that, but the mindset of loving yourself now with the scientific, science-based nutrition of macros is like the perfect pair to help you feel really good, feel confident, be healthier, and just become more aware of what you're actually eating so you do change your physical body. So in my one-on-one, what you get: 3 months of support, to feel better in your body, have more energy and confidence in your everyday life, lose weight, gain muscle. Honestly, whatever your goals are, we can do it with macro counting. We have weekly check-ins. I give you a personalized workout program, meeting you where you're at. So what I mean by that is like, okay, do you have a set of 10-pound dumbbells only? Great, let's kill it. Do you like have a gym that you're in your basement? Great. What kind of equipment do you have? Let's get it. Like, we're meeting you where you're at. I am a judgment-free zone. I truly, truly pride myself. And I just want people to feel comfortable coming to me and being like, my life is in shambles. Like, help me. Like, I love helping people. So what else you get? Obviously the macro breakdown and adjustments. And for me to give these adjustments, I will need your weight, your height, your activity level, and your age. And I do my macro calculations to figure out that the proteins, fats, and carbs that you'll be eating. And I will give you adjustments as needed. So depending on like how you're doing with your weight and your energy, like maybe we'll just change those numbers up and down. And most importantly, you have daily access to me as your coach and #1 cheerleader. Okay, so what is the price? This meme, whatever GIF cracks me up. $500 is $500 a month for a 3-month commitment. It's normally $700 because you're on this masterclass. I bopped it down $200, and if you pay in full, you'll also save another $200. So pay in full for 3 months is $1,300, or you can pay monthly $500 a month. So the next steps, I know that investing can be super, super scary. I have invested a few $1,000s in my own business coaching in the last 2 years, I would say. But I want you to ask yourself, what is your health and peace of mind worth? And if not now, when will you take action to feel confident, feel healthier, and just feel better? So ask yourself, do you think that you're going to wake up one day and automatically have the drive and motivation to push yourself outside of my comfort zone, knowing how much I've tried up until now to change with no avail? Where do I see myself in the next 5-10 years? If you want to live a balanced, healthy life that gifts you time to be with your family, friends, loved ones, do the things you enjoy without worrying about how you look, or if that you feel like crap, then it's time to follow your intuition. If you've been kind of peeking around at my page, or just know that you want to really change in your life, especially now, like with everything that's happening, it's an opportunity to flip the negative into a positive and really work on yourself. And I'm looking for 5 to 10 of the most perfect people who are ready to kick ass, take control back over their health, to better themselves, but also the global society. Because when you raise your vibration, you are helping other people around you, right? Which is so, so, so powerful. And like I said, I love coaching people who have a mission other than just like looking good in the mirror. Like, I want you to want to make an impact, right? And knowing that if you don't feel good, you can't put your best foot forward. You can't go out and give from an empty cup. So like I said, with COVID hitting us hard, we have an opportunity to gain a new perspective. Health is wealth. And if you always want to be prepared and feel like you can take on anything in this world, because we can't control ourselves, can't control anything outside of ourselves, money is going to come back. It's abundant. You are abundant. Time is something you won't get back. So, and with having some extra time right now, even just kind of having a weight off of your shoulders of being like, okay, Emma, what's my workout? What am I eating? Like, you're not wasting time like trying to figure things out on your own, right? I urge you to take the step, apply, and take control back over your health and stop taking it for granted. And a bonus if you sign up now, and this bonus is going to expire on Friday. So kind of like a Black Friday sale. It's going to be a free hour one-on-one coaching call with me, to dive deeper into your specific goals and create a game plan for your nutrition moving forward. So some people like to do like a grocery guide intensive call where we'll go over exactly what you're going to eat, and like just write out a grocery list and figure out meals and stuff like that. So are you ready to take your power back? If you are, let's do this. So I am going to stop share. And I have, so really the next step would be to, I have an application. So I have, let me pull it up real quick. Oh, I think this is it. So I'm going to pop the application in the chat. And if you have any questions for me, we have 8 more minutes until this masterclass ends. So if you have any questions at all, even just on macros or about coaching, I would love to hear them. Or like how you liked the class, just anything. You could even unmute yourself if you want to. Woo. So, like I said, I want to thank you guys for coming and showing up for yourself today. I hope you got a good grasp of like what macros are, how they can help you gain any sort of goal that you're reaching. And it's just really awesome to become more aware of what you actually eat, because I see a lot of people, and honestly, myself included sometimes, right, is that we just don't eat enough. So we end up just crabby or, oh, I think I like missed a slide, but whatever. We end up crabby. And if we are eating underneath our basal metabolic rate, which is like the number of calories we need to just survive, like all of that energy is going to your bodily functions and not to like losing weight or gaining muscle. Like your body always wants to keep you alive. And so it's just to like fighting goals of like trying to lose weight and trying to like live gets kind of rough. Thanks for sharing. This is really good stuff to think about. Yes. Awesome, Karina. Thanks so much for joining in. I'm glad that we got to connect so quick too. It's like, hey, okay, you're on. I love it. iPhone, I don't know who you are, iPhone, but that's okay. So yeah, everybody. Thank you, Brad. I know there was like Shannon and Nadaji was on here too, Melissa. So thank you guys so much for showing up for yourself. If you have any other questions about macros, about coaching, what I can offer you, or just your own, personal, what you're going through right now with your own health, like please reach out to me. I always love hearing from you guys. All right. Well, again, thanks a lot. Thanks for the wisdom. I'll follow up. Great, Brad. Okay. Talk to you guys soon. Have a good night, and hope you have a great Thanksgiving, even though it's a weird holiday anyways. Oh my God. All right. Goodbye.